Hey Lunatics, what's up? It's the Silent Reviews here, coming at you guys with my SmackDown live review for the April 30th, 2019 episode. More build-up heading into Money in the Bank as far as Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens go. We had Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the first time ever on WWE television. We also had the men's and women's Money in the Bank participants as announced for the SmackDown side. And also the Hardys are the main topic here, because we'll talk about it. So here we go. Now, whereas WWE Raw failed to create accurate buzz and excitement about the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-view event, the April-ending episode of SmackDown Live featured a focused show that steadily built the feuds and superstars that will accumulate into the highest-profile belts of the May 19th show. WWE Champion Kofi Kingston's feud with Kevin Owens was enhanced over the course of 2 segments. Becky Lynch battled Bayley in a showdown of 2 of the 4 original NXT horsewomen. Shane McMahon sought to make life a living heel for Roman Reigns, and the men and women involved in the upcoming Money in the Bank ladder matches were revealed. Find out everything else that went down Tuesday on the USA Network with this show recap. So the show kicks off with Michael Cole, who is apparently, he just likes to come and go on both Raw and SmackDown. We all know him originally from SmackDown, but, you know, he's been on Raw for many, many years. He comes out, and he's introducing Kofi Kingston. He's going to have an interview for Kofi. Out comes the champ. SmackDown kicks off, Michael Cole introducing WWE Champion Kofi Kingston to the fans. Commentator Tom Phillips ran down the incredible journey of Kingston to the top of the brand. Kofi said, without New Day, none of this will be possible. He continued his inspirational message before Cole relieved Kingston's victory over Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania's chants of "You deserve it" rang from the stands. Finally, Cole recapped the betrayal by Kevin Owens from last week that left both Kingston and Xavier Woods reeling. Kingston laid down a challenge to Owens for a match at Money in the Bank, to which the prize fighter responded by making his way up to the top of the ramp. "Challenge accepted, Kofi," Owens said. "None of these people believe you're actually championship material." He continued on before claiming Kingston was over his head, drowning. I like this. It's really fuming up. It's getting really high. You know, it's just getting good between Kofi and Kevin Owens. Woods attacked him from behind, but Owens got the best of him and super kicked him, laying out Xavier Woods. Now, this kind of dragged on just a little bit. It didn't have to last like 15 minutes. It could have been like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, but this went on a little too long. Now, we already knew about Kingston's magical run to the title. The attention span is far longer than WWE Creative will admit. WrestleMania was less than a month ago. It's hard to believe WrestleMania was literally a month ago. It's insane. All that backstory and promo work amounted to nothing when fans just cared about what Kingston had to say about Owens. By the time we got there, the promo had run on way too long for the outcome we got here. Unfortunately, despite the best efforts by the talents involved, this essentially amounts to a meaningless promo. Move on to the first match of the night, Becky Lynch versus Bayley. This was a great fucking match. We knew it would be. First time these 2 women fought on SmackDown. They haven't fought each other since NXT. But that was like 5 years ago. So it was nice to see these 2 square up. So for the first time since 2015, or 4 years rather, for the first time since 2015, Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Bayley squared off in singles competition. After the break, during which Lynch targeted the arm of her opponent, Bayley fought back and downed the man with a clothesline to the back of the head. A missile dropkick, though, halted her momentum as Lynch left her reeling. Bayley scored a near fall off a small package and delivered a nasty side suplex. She then scaled the ropes and went for a trademark elbow drop, but Becky got to her knees and forced a tap out to disarm her. But it wasn't until Charlotte Flair she just has to get involved in people's business. We all know she's fighting Becky for the title at Money in the Bank. Why, I don't know. She comes out and she delivers a big boot to Bayley, and then she takes out Becky. I don't know, but okay. It was meaningless. It was ridiculous. Bayley looked better and more competitive a week ago against Flair, though it should be no surprise she was working with the best women's wrestler in the company then. Here she looked competitive, though, but the match was doomed by a terribly placed commercial break. It would have been better served with more time and no annoying break in the heart of reaction. As it is, though, the match was a fine reminder that Bayley remains a threat while putting the spotlight back on the Flinch-Flair saga that feels like it may never end. Jeff Hardy addresses his status. Now, for weeks, the Hardy Boys haven't been seen on SmackDown Live, being that they are the tag champs. And there was a rumor going around that Jeff Hardy was injured. We did not know what was going on, what was wrong with him, but Matt Hardy revealed last week on Twitter that he would come out and address those rumors with Jeff on next week's SmackDown, which took place this week. So they come out and they start talking. So at their video package recapping Lars Sullivan brutal assaulted him, Jeff Hardy was joined by brother Matt as he announced a serious injury requiring surgery that will keep him out for the time being. Matt reluctantly gave up the SmackDown Tag Team titles on behalf of the team before Lars meets Sullivan music played and the Freaks stalled toward the squared circle. He then attacked Mav and staved off a steel chair assault from R-Truth, who came out of nowhere. He then planted the ladder with his Freak ending finisher and then a nasty powerbomb to put its exclamation point on the beating. So yeah, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, they came out, and unfortunately they had to relinquish the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, which sucks. Because what other teams on SmackDown do you have that are going to be taken seriously as SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, since Raw has the better tag team division right now? I mean, the only teams that you got right now on SmackDown, Heavy Machinery, the B Team, literally who else is there? Because the Usos are on Raw, Gallows Anderson on Raw. I mean, like, only team I can think of is Heavy Machinery. Who else are they going to have? I don't know, man. We'll see. But yeah, Lars Sullivan comes out and he puts another beating on R-Truth, and he takes out Matt Hardy as well. Sullivan continues to look like an absolute monster, withstanding everything thrown at him and obliterating everyone in his path. Matt bumped well, Truth put him over with a big sell with the powerbomb, and Sullivan looked better for it. It remains to be seen, though, if the Freak can be trusted with a run at the top of the card, something all signs seem to point towards, but he has succeeded in the early weeks of this push. It is unfortunate that Jeff Hardy is injured again, because this felt like one of his last tag team title runs for one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history. Whether they ever hold gold again is the question, though. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do with Matt Hardy, being that Jeff is going to be out for a long time, but Jeff just had his surgery, I think, earlier today, so thoughts and prayers go out to Jeff Hardy and a speedy recovery for the charismatic Enigma. And hopefully they don't fucking screw up Matt's single push for the time being. Kairi Sane and Asuka were in action against two nobodies, two local competitors. I've never seen them before. One looked like a ripoff, like a skinnier version of Naomi, and the other one looked like a fucking ripoff of Poison Ivy from Batman. So there's that. And this ended very quickly with Asuka and Sane winning the match. You know, Asuka and Sane as a team, it may inadvertently expose the rest of the division because they're so damn good. But the crispness of the action, the chemistry, and the explosiveness makes the team the standard bearer of the division just 2 weeks into its run. WWE Creative will attempt to book the Iconics over them, but they must resist that urge and go with the superior team. Anything else would make no sense and assault the intelligence of the audience. I guess they're building up Kairi Sane and Asuka against the Iconics. Not Money in the Bank, but probably down the road, maybe at the Saudi Arabia show or that new pay-per-view that they have. It's called Stomping Grounds, which is replacing Backlash. More on that soon, but we'll see. Anything, I don't really care what they do at this point with the women's tag team titles. Just get the fuck up. Just get those titles off of fucking Iconics, please, because they're just miserable as tag team champions. I can't stand it, man. They just lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. Like, it's ridiculous. They should have never been champs in the first place. Shane McMahon stacks the odds against Roman Reigns. Roman arrives to a thunderous ovation and chalked up his Superman punch to Vince McMahon as his desire to make the biggest impact. Shane comes out, interrupts, butchering University of Michigan's head coach, Jim Harbaugh's last name, I don't know what that is, and he booked a handicap match between Reigns and the B Team. Yes, the B Team are on SmackDown Live now. Just like what Gallows and Anderson movement to Raw with no explanation, no tweets, nothing, no announcements. The same thing happened with B Team, and they're on SmackDown. Who cares? On top of that, he reveals Elias would be the special guest enforcer for the bout. Great. Is Shane going to bring Big Boss Man out as his enforcer, recruit Ken Shamrock, and convince Triple H to betray D-Generation X in his war with Reigns? Nah. A McMahon stacking the odds against the babyface has been done for far too long now, before, and too much better returns. Shane, despite being a great performer in his own right, is not his father, and it shows in the heat surrounding this segment. A major step up that did not create any interest whatsoever in Reigns overcoming the heels. And we're back for the break as Axel and Dallas works over Reigns, trapping him in the corner, making quick tags. They beat down the big dog in the corner as the fans try to wheel him back into the bout. Reigns mounted a comeback, and he ended up on the receiving end of a sneak attack by Elias at ringside heading into the break. During the commercial, the heels worked Reigns over. Reigns fought back, delivering a big Samoan drop / DDT combination to the former Raw Tag Champions. Yes, it's hard to believe these two were Raw Tag Team Champions at one point for a near fall. Reigns continued his onslaught, but Elias pulled official Mike Chioda to the floor, breaking up what may have been the winning pinfall. Back in the ring, Elias was stunned when the big dog kicked out of the Perplex by Axel and retrieved his trusty guitar. Reigns fought it up, delivered spear, and Chioda counted the fall, and Roman defeats the B Team. Now, would you look at that? The babyface overcomes the heel obstacles before a bigger, badder, and more imposing threat. Yes, Reigns is gearing up for his match with Elias at Money in the Bank, but do not be all surprised if he overcomes the sinister Songster, only to find himself confronted by a more dangerous foe, the likes of which the evil McMahons will be driven up to align themselves with. A freak, perhaps. Maybe we could be seeing Roman Reigns versus Lars Sullivan down the road. Who knows? Finn Balor and Ali versus Randy Orton and Andrade. This was a random tag team match that was made official and was booked, but it makes sense as to why this was made official. Now, on the previous night on Raw, Alexa Bliss came out and she announced the men's and the women's participants for the Money in the Bank ladder match. For Raw, for the men's side, we have Braun Strowman, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. And now for SmackDown, we have Finn Balor, the Intercontinental Champion, Mustafa Ali, Randy Orton, and Andrade Cien Almas. That's a stack field right there. Just get rid of Baron Corbin, you're all good. Anybody but Corbin to win, I'm all for it. That's just my opinion. And for the SmackDown side, let's see. First for the Raw side for the women, we had Natalya, Dana Brooke. I'm very surprised about Dana Brooke being in there. But Natalya, Dana Brooke, Naomi, and Bliss herself. Then for the SmackDown side, we had Carmella. We had Mandy Rose. We had who else? I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm trying to think. It was Carmella. It was Mandy Rose. It was it wasn't Asuka. No, Kairi Sane. I can't think at the moment. I just had to look that up. But yeah, I don't know. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match this year doesn't seem that exciting as the men's does, but the men's seems a lot more exciting. I really can't think who these last two women are, with Mandy Rose and Carmella. I know Sonya wanted to be in there, but she said to Mandy that she wanted her to be in there instead, so no Sonya Deville. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm actually really curious now. Money in the Bank 2019 women's participants. I'm just really curious now. Let's see. So here you go. SmackDown Women's Money in the Bank ladder match participants announced. Ember Moon. There you go. Bayley and Ember Moon. That's what I was thinking. Okay. There you go. So it's Asuka. I keep saying Asuka. It's Bayley, Ember Moon, Carmella, and Mandy Rose. There you go. But anyways, so yeah, we get into this tag team match with Finn Balor, the Intercontinental Champion, Mustafa Ali, and Randy Orton, Andrade Cien Almas. Now, the SmackDown participants in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match on May 19th came together on Tuesday for a major tag team encounter. I know I'm speaking really fast because I'm just trying to finish up this video here. Ali partnered with Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor to battle Randy Orton and Andrade Cien Almas. Mustafa endured a focused beating at the hands of the heels before Balor sparked a babyface comeback. As the action broke down late, Balor countered a hammerlock DDT attempt and delivered a sling blade. A corner dropkick gave away to a 450 splash from Ali as the babyfaces rolled to victory. After the match, Orton came in from out of nowhere to drop Balor with an RKO. Ali had answered back with a super kick before standing tall. Now, this may not have been any better or worse than any other tag team match, but 4 extraordinary performers helped elevate beyond the standard fare. This was just the same thing we saw on Raw with Braun Strowman, Ricochet, McIntyre, and Corbin. We're saying the same thing with Balor, Ali, Andrade, Cien Almas, and Randy Orton, with the babyfaces picking up the win. Ali picking up the win allows him to continue his magnificent run as one of the top breakout stars of 2019 as far as the Cruiserweight division goes. Orton's RKO to Balor sets up a showdown between him and Balor if that is a match WWE Creative opts to explore. This was meant to shine the spotlight on the 4 men who would compete for the coveted Money in the Bank briefcase. While they could have had something to come up with, something more unique for them to do, it was still a fun and an offensive way to spend a few minutes of TV time. Finally, guys, the main event, main event segment, rather. We had the KO show with Xavier Woods. Now, after attacking him earlier in the night, Kevin Owens welcomed Xavier Woods to his Kevin Owens show to recap off the evening's broadcast. Owens reiterated that Kingston is over his head, that he is in need of help. He vowed to relieve Kingston of the trauma that he has experienced since WrestleMania by defeating him for the WWE title at Money in the Bank. The prizefighter implored Woods to join him in the ring. When he did not, though, Owens pulled out action figures of Woods and Big E Battle Pack, further mocking New Day. This was funny. This drew out Kingston, who removed his shirt as he slowly made his way down the ramp. A more serious side of Kofi Kingston. No music played, no pancakes, none of that shit. No smiling. It was a serious Kofi Kingston. I really enjoyed this side of Kofi here. He meant business here. He hit the ring and engaged Owens in a fury of right hands. A springboard forearm knocked Owens down on the floor, and irate by Owens could not help him, though. Kingston set him over the announce table and pummeled away. Owens escaped through the crowd, leaving Kingston to stand tall as they close out the show. Fans finally got a taste of the fired-up, intense, and vengeful side of Kofi Kingston. After weeks of the influential story and celebration, Kofi was on fire here. He was great here, laying into Kevin Owens and sending the dangerous villain and retreating to an end of segment that did more to create intrigue and an eventful match than anything at this point. Is Kingston versus Owens one of the hottest programs in WWE at the moment? Of course not, but it has potential to be, especially if the WWE Champion continues to perform just like this. So there you guys go for my SmackDown Live review. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, RKO the like button out of nowhere, tap the bell for notifications to get all my future uploads, and I'll be back with my NXT and 205 Live review tomorrow, guys. I'm going to call it a night here. I was going to do all 3 videos like I did last week, but I'm going to call it a night here. And I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my night. And, yeah, so. Alright, so, enough rambling here. I got a lot more shit to talk about. As far as the War Raiders go. Dean Ambrose leaving WWE. It's official now. We all been wondering for weeks and weeks and weeks. Or for months as well. Like, is he re-signing? Is he going to AEW? What's the deal? All I know for now is that he's officially done with WWE. It's official. And I'm not going to say anything more. You probably already know what happened with Dean Ambrose after he left WWE. But I'll talk about it in a future video. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, War Raiders, Dean Ambrose, talk about. Also, the Saudi Arabia show, we have some stars announced for that as well. Some legends as well. We also got NXT news as well for an NXT referee. I guess he got injured, and it was with a match between Tyler Breeze and the Velveteen Dream for the NXT North American title at a live event. And I'm not going to say anything more, so I'm just going to save that for a future video. So, yeah, I got some things to talk about. So, most likely you'll be seeing that tomorrow. After I put up my NXT 205 Live review, I think you'll be seeing News and Rumors Part 3 or Part 4, whatever the fuck part it is. So, yeah. So, just stay tuned for that, guys. And until then, I will see you on the next one. Too sweet. Have a good night.